latest team news that you've got, and in particular the Arne Slot?
Yeah, with Leo, there's another test today. We have to see how he's feeling, and he doesn't look much. So we still have a few hours, and we have to wait and see.
So it's a potential chance it could be.
It is a potential chance. Yeah.
You welcome back Martinelli and Odegaard and Madueke during the week. You did mention earlier on this week that you were hoping to get behind closed doors game for Gabriel Jesus and some of the others. We understand this happened yesterday. Can you confirm that that happened? Who was involved and if they're in contention for Sunday?
Yeah, it did happen. So Gary participated, Ethan as well, because he wanted some minutes. So we took that opportunity, obviously, for the players that they need a bit of exposure and competition to provide that to them, and it was very positive.
With regard to Victor and Kai, and there's one more, it's completely slipped my mind. Anyone?
Gary?
Sorry, we know about Gary.
Yeah.
Are any of those available, or how are they progressing?
Yeah, we have another day tomorrow, so let's see how everybody's tomorrow.
You described your players after the Bayern Munich game as immense. Have they surprised you in any way with how they performed and their mentality and their character, particularly in light of the injuries that you've had so far?
Not that they surprised me, but actually you have to be able to perform in the manner that they did individually throughout a long periods of the game against our opponent, and that's very, very difficult to do. And I just said that that's the way I felt about the players, how I feel about the players, and now it's about finding again the same consistency on Sunday to go and win again.
I wonder if you heard Joshua Kimmich's comments after the game. He said Arsenal rely on set pieces, they love to play long balls. Today was not so much about football. What do you think when you hear stuff like that? Do you care? Do you use it as fuel or motivation, or just ignore it? No,
but I think the way we both teams play, I think the game they play against PSG was very similar when everything becomes man-to-man, and the way they are with the fullbacks, the way we do what we did in terms of rotation, they create a game that are very low sequences of passes, so I know what he's saying, so that's fine. It's part of the game. I think the game is provoked in the manner that both plays games, so it's very understandable.
Arsenal seem to like this fixture in recent years. The last 7 games, Arsenal won 5 and drawn 2 against Chelsea. What is it about this fixture that seems to bring the best out of you and your players?
I don't know, obviously it's a big game, it's a big London derby. We're going to play a really, really good opponent. They're in really good form. And yeah, we know the challenge, we know the opportunity that we have as well on Sunday, so we are fully ready for it.
If you speak to Chelsea, they seem to play down their chances of potentially challenging for the title. How do you view them? Are they title challengers? Are they your main threat?
Well, I think we are all there, and they are there because they fully deserve what they are, what they have done in the last few years. I think the squad that they assembled, the numbers that they have, the amount of quality, the money and the coaching staff that they have. You know, it makes sense that what is happening there is very, very positive, and they deserve to be there.
Final one from me, Mikel. This time last week, you were looking ahead to the North London derby, Bayern Munich and Chelsea. You've successfully negotiated the first 2 of those tests. How big a statement would it be, and how big a statement of the week would it be if you were to go to Stamford Bridge and win?
Yeah, those statements we're talking about them every 3 days. So after beating the Spurs at home, then we had to make the statements against Bayern Munich. We've done that, and now we have to go to the next one. That's where we are. We knew the importance of the week. Not only that, what is coming afterwards, after 3 days, is going to be exactly the same. Nothing's going to change, but we are super motivated for the game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi. If you do win on Sunday, though, how will you keep a lid on expectations?
We don't talk about it's not a lead or no lead. I think we need to understand basically what we have to do to be better than the opponent, to have the chance to win. And if we are able to accomplish that, we'll be able to do the same in the next game. Nothing is going to change.
And on Sunday, Pierre and Hincapie obviously played against Tottenham, and you had Mosquera playing midweek. Did Hincapie do enough to keep his place in the Premier League team?
They both have obviously a really good possibility. Pierre's played as a left back as well, which is another option that we have in relation to the opponent. The game, the state that the players are in, Miles as well, is obviously a very good option that we have there. Keep using everybody and making them feel that they are connected with the team.
And just lastly, I know you said Chelsea deserve to be where they are. They always like to play down their potential role in being in the title fight. Does that surprise you?
I don't know. That's a question for them, I think.
Hi, Mikel, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
The Premier League leaders and team that are going really well in Europe, yourself against the world champions in Chelsea. Is this the biggest game of the season so far?
We always have the same question, you know. I understand. For us it is because it's the next game, and we just live in the present and making the best possible preparation to try to be better than them and win the game.
I know you don't like talking about opposition players, and you've obviously had lots of very good young players coming through here at Arsenal. You've seen lots of very good young players come through with you in Barcelona. Can you give me an idea of how exciting Esteban looks for Chelsea compared to all the players you would have known at 17, 18?
I don't want to talk individually. When you look at the players that they have, the squad that they have, the quality that they have in those forward positions is immense, and they've done that really well. They have recruited over the years top talent, and it's not a coincidence where they are.
It seems that the youngsters these days, because you've had Maldo, Skelly, Ethan, Max Dowden coming on for appearances this year, they've got Esteban. It seems youngsters these days that they're not fazed by anything. Years ago, you wouldn't be throwing in 17, 18-year-olds into this kind of high-profile game. Now it seems that they relish it more.
Yeah, well, I think that relies on the individual and his personality, his character, and his ability to cope with that context and the pressure that comes with it. And yeah, I think it's a very positive thing.
And I know you don't have to talk about opposition players, or indeed highlighting just one of your own team. I would like to, if I can, in Declan Rice. Are we looking at if not this year, maybe next year, a Ballon d'Or winner?
I hope so. That would mean that we have won a lot, and because normally goes very much related. Again, I think he was immense today. I think he's been immense since the start of the season, and it's an incredible and crucial play for us.
Mikel, I know Big Gabby was going to have a scan on Wednesday to try and get the timeline on that. Have you got any more details on it? Because it sort of feels he might not play again until January.
Yeah, not yet. I think he's evolving really, really well. We have to wait for that scan a little bit longer to be more precise in terms of the timings. But I'm quite confident that, especially the way Gabby takes every injury and the way he's going to push everybody, that is not going to be that long.
So he might get back before the end of the year?
I don't know. We have to wait and see.
And just on Gabriel Jesus, now he's had that behind closed doors game, is he ready to return to the first team squad, or do you want to arrange another friendly maybe to get some more minutes away from that?
We have to see. Obviously, he's been out 11 months, and you need that progression. You need to see how his body Daniel reacts, and what else does he need. The players that we have available as well. It has to make sense to have the right balance in the squad. So the good thing, it's very, very close at the moment.
You played Mikel Arteta a lot at centre forward this season, and you've admitted obviously not naturally a centre forward, he's had to play that role. Have you learned anything from him playing that role that's perhaps changed the way you think about the position when the likes of Kai and Victor come back into that position?
Yeah, we did learn that last season, because that's why we had to play long periods without a 9, and yeah, he brings other things to the table. I think his intelligence, the way he competes, the way he masters a lot of the things that are crucial for us in any player, he's got them. And then he's a real threat the night again. He could have scored 2 goals. He was involved in many positive actions, and his work rate was unbelievable again.
And Gabriel Martinelli came on and scored. Naturally, has a very good record against Chelsea. He's enjoyed some really good nights there. In your thinking, when you pick a team, how much does a player's specific record against a certain club come into your mind when picking an 11?
Not necessarily. I think we look more about the state of that player in the moment. What happened 6 months ago, a year ago, is not that relevant. There are experiences, there are connection within the team that, in my opinion, are more important than that. And yeah, very happy what Gabi did again the other night. It was super.
Mikel, you said the other day that your president Havertz would have
clear, not yet, but they are getting closer and closer. So we are very positive with both of them, and let's see.
But just on Victor, I mean, obviously there was so much focus about signing a striker in the summer and a lot of fanfare when he came in. Is he so important to you that when he is fit, he comes straight back into the lineup, or is the way the team's playing at the moment make it sort of more complicated?
Well, the good thing is that now we found another option. Because we like 3 different options. The first 3 probably that we had in mind at the start of the season. But that's a really good learn as well from all of us, especially for me, to understand that, yeah, with all the players, with other connections, with other ways of doing things, we can still be very, very efficient.
Does it help him then that the team's done so well without him? Does it leave him with a bit of points?
No, I think it's very positive. I think everybody wants, okay, we lost a player, 2, 3, we lost at some point 6 players in the front line, and the team continued to win and be very, very efficient. So I think that's very positive. And now what we have to prove is, okay, once we have everybody back, we're going to be still as good, or hopefully better.
Just last one, in March when you played Chelsea afterwards, you said they were the best attacking team in the league. Are they still?
Yeah, they were. Well, the sample now this season is a little bit early in the season, so it's difficult to say, but it's one of the teams that I enjoy the most watching, and they have a lot of fluidity, they have a lot of threat, they have a lot of individual talent, they are very clear what they want to do, and yeah, that's why they are very tough.
Just on Gabriel Jesus, you mentioned he's very close at the minute. Would you need to see him play multiple of those internal games before you even throw him for the first team? Or does this festive period where there are so many games midweek can help bridge that gap?
Yeah, it's what we see every single day, how he's reacting to the change as well that he had in load, and then he needs to get into the chemistry of the team, understanding the things on match time, which are very different to anything that he tried to replicate in train, obviously, and those gaps, try to make them as short as possible.
When he first joined, I think he really connected the team really well, and the team now, from when he got injured, is even very different in the past 11 months. So has he been able to build those connections well on the training?
Yes, well, it's been always one of Gabi's quality, the capacity to relate and connect and make other players around him better, and he still has that, and now he needs to find a way to do it with, as you mentioned as well, some very new players.
And over the last 2-3 years, I think there's been moments where I think you can see the team going to another level within a game. So one of the first ones that sticks in my mind was the Liverpool game where Martinelli scored after a minute, and that seemed like a real mental shift in the team. And the Bayern game in midweek felt similar. I was just wondering if you kind of felt that and what you took from that game in terms of mental kind of state.
Well, obviously it brings certainty, security, and really positive energy every time you beat top opponents. When we did in the derby, it helped to generate that momentum and that belief for the next game. We did it against Bayern, and now we have to carry that against Chelsea. But it's just on the moment for the next day, and we have to use it in the right way.
How pleased have you been with Nolly the last week or so? And how much of a point to prove do you think he'll have on Sunday? Because he's going to get quite a lively reception.
Well, I'm very pleased with him since the day that came. His attitude, energy that he's brought to the team, another kind of threat. His capacity to play right and left, and his skill set is different to what we had. And we saw again that on Wednesday, starting on one position, then changing to the other position, and being very, very efficient. So great to have him back.
He obviously featured in this online petition. He's obviously got a great reception from Arsenal fans from the very moment he played for the Premier League. But were you ever worried at all when there was this online petition for Arsenal to be considering? And equally, just widening it a bit, does that worry you, the sorts of stuff that other players have to suffer? Whereas as a player, you didn't have to worry about any of that because obviously that wasn't around.
I don't know. If anything, it gave me more conviction and more will to help him and to do everything that we possibly could to make this relationship work and prepare everything around him in the best possible way. But I think that lasted a very short period of time, and immediately we have completely the opposite reaction, which I think he valued, respected, and it was like fuel to him.
It didn't affect him at all.
I don't think so.
Is this version of Declan, is this like the final form? Is this the best? Is the Declan you kind of always envisaged, or is there even more from him, do you think?
Probably yes, a year or two ago yes, but now being with him every single day and understanding and connecting with him in the way that I've done, we're going to get more. Because he wants more, he's going to get more. The team knows him better, his role is growing around the team. The impact that he has in the team is huge, and we'll find ways to make it even better.
What areas do you think that could be? I guess goals is one of them, get 30 goals a year or something.
Well, that would vary in relation to the position as well, the spaces that he occupies and how often he's in certain areas, but there will be other areas that he will evolve.
Just lastly, obviously you don't spend that much money on a player without knowing over quite a long period of time that you want him. Was there a moment, or at what point did you think that the rice you saw at West Ham was the guy you wanted to buy? When did you first start thinking, yeah, he's the one for me?
Yeah, I don't think you have to be a genius. I knew him for a long time, and I knew how he could help evolve and change the team, and he certainly don't, and probably improve those expectations.
It wasn't that specific game or a specific moment when you went back to that.
Probably there is. I have to think about it, but most of the times, if you have the option to see a player live and sense him and get that energy, that presence, that charisma the player has on top of his qualities, it's something else. And probably when he was around, I said, that's a special player.
Just on Declan as well, but obviously he's playing a slightly different position at West Ham. Now he's evolved into this new position. Do you see that in him when he was in West Ham? He could play that more advanced role in DJ?
Yeah, to be fair, I had this one. I had another position. It was a little bit further back to do something else after in a different position. He can adapt to anything that you throw at him. But yeah, at the moment, that forward thinking and anything that is in front of him is probably much more positive for the team.
And he said, he did a couple of good interviews after the game the other night. He was saying how there's real anger in the players after what's happened over the last couple of 3 seasons. Do you sense that when you look into the players' eyes that you almost don't have to give the team sort of the respect they want it so much?
Yes, well, I sense that for a long time, and that's a great thing. That desire, that willingness to win and to do everything that we have in our hands to be the best as we can. It's unquestionable, and they show with actions every single day, and we're going to try to do that.
And just on Declan as a leader as well, how has he developed since he's been here as a leader of the team? Because obviously, first year it takes a bit of time to settle in, but now he's really setting an example.
Well, a huge amount, obviously. He was a captain at West Ham. He comes here to a new club, new environment. Obviously, there are things that are already set. But he has earned the right to increase that role, to be more and more important, to be very present in everything that we do. He's in the leadership group, which is very important as well. And it's a real presence. And sometimes you don't need to just wear the armband to feel really connected, really powerful, and really important in the team.
I'm going to Timber in the week spoke about the impact of religion and how important that is to him and some players in your team. What effect does religion have possibly on this one? And do you utilise it in any way to improve performances or get the squad together?
They do, and I love it because I think that connects them more. And the fact that some of them they have the same beliefs or strong beliefs about that, and how that helps their well-being, the mental side of that, and what it brings to them as human beings. I think it's phenomenal.
And how do they do it?
That's something for them private.
On a separate topic then, so last season because of injuries, Ethan Wineri and Miles Lewis obviously had a number of starts to plug their gaps. This season they've been pretty much on the bench in the league. Going forward, you also got a few youngsters as well in the academy who are now rising up and trying to make a name for themselves. How do you kind of show them that there's a pathway to the first team if you've got super good squad depth, you're competing for Champions League, Premier League. How is it possible to get that up?
Well, it's a really very good option is to look at our lineups and looking at Max making the youngest ever debut in the Champions League. Ethan, he played in the Champions League before. Miles, he played against the best team in Europe as a starter in the Champions League. I think that's the best one to say. Listen, these are not words, these are facts.
Okay, you spoke about the positive energy that you get from all these big wins. Do you feel that there's enough you built up a bank of that that could get you all the way to the end of the season? Because all these wins have been achieved with the same sort of injuries that they couldn't cope with last season.
I don't know. I think if it's enough for the next game and we get it with the full tank and full belief, that's enough. And that we have to restore it and we have to probably earn it every single week. The good thing is that spirit that doesn't only come for result, it comes as well for the spirit and the cohesion and the atmosphere that is around the squad, around the team, around the club, and that's something very positive.
We talk about confidence and belief, but it's not something you can measure in statistics, is it? It's
No.
I mean, can a manager feel it? How do you gauge it? Can you tell? Just by looking at it? I mean, obviously you've won all these games now. So
As you said, there is not. I cannot put something and look at the temperature on the team, but I think we know them really well. I think we are around them. We listen to them and just try to figure what they need on the day. Sometimes to bring them down a little bit as well. Sometimes. So whatever they need, we're here to support them and try to get into the games and every day and train the best possible spirit.
does the manager need to be a bit pessimist as well?
Pessimist?
Yeah, just think, well, something could go wrong.
Yeah, I think naturally we all look at every team and they are the best in the world, and and that's naturally how you want to analyze everything because you want to be prepared and you want to make sure that you give your best to get the players in the right position to win games.
Okay, well,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's good to see you. We were watching training earlier, saw Palmer in training. How is he feeling? Is he available to play and is he available to start on Sunday?
It's available for both.
Any other concerns after Tuesday night?
No, we have also Dario Sugo that he took part of the session this morning, so good news for both.
Good news on that front. Good news to see Esteval in the form that he was on Tuesday night. They spoke about him a lot after the game. He's a young player, he wants to manage really carefully, being young, but is he making it very difficult not to pick him week in, week out with performances like he did on Tuesday?
It's always good when the ones that they start and they play, they do the right things. It's good because they give, in this case, they give me a doubt always for the next games. But it's important that when they have the chance, they play good, they do the right things, and then it's a good problem for the manager always.
To have going into a big game against Arsenal. Look, Arsenal top of the league, top of the Champions League. What is it about Arsenal that you think are setting them apart from everybody else this season? What are they doing that's made it different to everybody else?
For sure, they defend fantastic. Any teams against them, they struggle to score goals, not only to score goals, but even to create chances. So it's a team that they defend very well. Then they have weapons when they attack. So I think it's, as you said, in this moment, they are top in the Champions League, they are top in the Premier League, and we're going to try our best to win the game.
A lot of people are making the midfield battle with Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice a bit of a theme going into this game because of the form both of them are in. Are those two currently the best midfielders in the Premier League? Do you see that midfield battle as being maybe a key between who comes out on top on Sunday?
I think Premier League is full of good players, very good midfielder, as you said, Moy, Declan, Roddy from City, Anderson from Nottingham Forest, Guimaraes from Newcastle. I mean, I think Premier League is full of very good midfielders.
Do you see that midfield battle though as being crucial on Sunday?
It's a big part, but it's not the only one. I think it's 11-11, the ones that they go inside from the bench. So it's the big picture. It's not just one part of the picture.
And funny for me, it's a big game, first versus second. You win, you go 3 points behind Arsenal. There is talk that there's not too much expectation on Chelsea to perhaps win the Premier League this season. But if you were to beat Arsenal on Sunday and close that gap, would there be a feeling internally that actually this might be something we could achieve this year?
I think it's too early in any case. If we win, if we don't win, I think it's too early. We are still, end of November, we are still 5-6 months to go. I think it's very important when we're going to be in February, March, where we are, and from there we decide and we see if we can achieve something important.
I'll ask you in February.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Alex?
Hi, Enzo. You've just beaten Barcelona 3-0 in the Champions League. How does the challenge on Sunday compare? Would you say it's an even bigger challenge than Tuesday night?
I think it's, I said after the game, it's another big game. We finished one again against Barcelona, as you said, we won, it was a good feeling. And now we have another one. Now if it's bigger than the last one, I don't know. For me, they are all important games. For sure, beating Barcelona, or in case we are able to beat Arsenal, it's a nice feeling. But at the end, it's 3 points. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we have a list that is 3 points in the same way. So we're gonna try our best to beat Arsenal, and then we see.
We do have matches as big as one in the same week. Is the feeling different, the training? Is the mood different, the mindset different at all?
Yeah, the mindset and the mood in this moment for us is very good because we are doing quite good in the Premier League. We are doing quite well in the Champions League. I think it's good feeling also that we can see that we are improving, we are growing. So this is the best feeling for us.
It was an amazing atmosphere on Tuesday night. It sounds rich. How important to recreate that
Yeah.
on Sunday? Can you use that to your advantage?
Absolutely, yes. We need that environment. We need that the fans in the way they were, and it's always nice to share that kind of moment at the end of the game with everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. John?
Just going back to the title race, I know you were saying you could win the title. But remember, it was about this time last season when you got to second in the league, and you said that you weren't ready to win the title, that other teams know how to win the title. Do you think it's different now? Do you think you are ready as a group to win it?
I think it's for sure it's different compared to 1 year ago, and it's because we spent 1 more year together. We went through a moment where we can learn from that moment. Then again, for me, it's very early. We are still end of November, December, so it's very early, and it's important to be where we are now in March, April, and then we see.
Can you see a different mentality though in the players this season and when playing Barcelona? Surely that's only going to help.
Yeah, but these players, because I can understand that always, we are talking about last game, but I think this player in 16, 17, 18 months together, they show many times that they can beat teams. I mean, in the Premier League last year, I think we had some good moment where we were able to beat teams, and then PSG, the Club World Cup final. This season, I don't know, again, Liverpool or Barcelona. We compete always, and then sometimes we are able to win, sometimes we are not able to win, but it's important thing that we compete against any team.
So it's hard not maintaining that level of performance that you produced on Tuesday night, trying to get some consistency, given that it is a young group.
Yeah, but I think we are in the right direction.
And just want to ask, obviously set pieces is a real strength We've spoken about this with numerous teams, but what do you do to try and counter that?
We'll try to defend in the best way we can. There is not. I think Arsenal is not just against. It's not just against one team or two teams. Arsenal, they score goals in set pieces against any team. Last game against Bayern Munich, they scored the first one from corner. It's not just that they score goals against any team. They have a system in place that works very well, and we're going to try to do our best to defend in the best way.
And how different challenge is it for you to go from trying to prepare against Barcelona and now against Arsenal?
It's nice. It's nice. It's a different challenge, as you said. We planned the game against Barcelona in one way. We need to plan the game against Arsenal in a different way, and then we see at the end of the game.
Thanks, John. Simon?
Enzo, going back to Cole, have you noticed sort of around the players, they must be pretty happy anyway post Barcelona, but a real lift that Cole's back?
Yeah, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy. The teammates, they're happy. We are all happy, and the most important thing is that Cole is happy because at the end, a football player, they want to play games and make session every day.
There's a lot of good players, obviously, to choose from, but I think Chelsea fans can't wait to see Palmer with Esteban. Do you think, how sort of worrying for opposition defences do you think those two could be as a combination?
No, they can play together. Depends, against which team, depends a little bit the game plan. But for sure, they are excited. The fans, they are excited to watch both together. We also are excited, thinking that at the end, we need always, balance between the two faces.
Thanks, Simon. David?
Speaking of mentality, your team seems to be improving also in that aspect. How are you working on that? How are you working on building the winning mentality of the club?
For me personally, I already said a few times that the only way to build winner mentality is to win games, no matter the competition. I think we are in the right direction. We have also players inside the changing room that they behave like a leader. They are growing also in this aspect, and it's very important, especially when you have a group like our squad.
Cole's in place in September. You say that he's the best player. What kind of contribution can he give? How much do you think he can elevate the level of the team that he's already high?
Yeah, a lot. Is as you said, probably our best player. We are happy that he's back now. We need to give him time, to be 100% fit. But he has done fantastic in the past, and no doubt that he's going to do very good for this club in the future.
I know obviously last night you said that you haven't spoken to Richard Hughes or any of the ownership group last night, but have you been able to since what those conversations have been like? Has the support that you spoke about last night been reiterated to you?
Yeah, we've had the same conversations as we've had since I'm here. And as I'm not sure what I said last night, but we fight on and we try to improve. That's what we all try. But the conversations have been the same as they've been for the past 1.5 years.
For you at the moment, is there an anger, maybe that's too strong, is there a frustration or a feeling of being let down by your players at the moment who aren't necessarily reaching the standards that we've come to expect from them?
No, not at all. Although I do agree with you that our standards, and with our I mean the team, have not been of the standards that we are used to and that we want. So we think we can play better than we do. But last season when we did really well, there was a lot of focus on certain individuals, and I always said it should be about the team, and the team makes the individuals look very good. And if the opposite is happening, we should also look at the team and not at the individuals. So that's where it's about for me.
You also said that you have to look at yourself. What can you do different?
Nah, that's not so easy to say what can I do, but it's quite normal if you win or lose or draw that you reflect on the game. Which decisions have you made, what have you done during the week, all kind of usual things managers do if they win or lose. But maybe you do it a little bit more if you lose. You try to find the answers to what is needed to win a game of football, and in the end it's about doing what this club is about is keep fighting, and no matter how difficult it is, we have to fight together. But it would also be nice if we would reward ourselves in the moments we play well, because people are very focused and correctly about the parts we don't play well, but there are definitely large parts of the games where we do play well and where we do create those chances, and we tend to forget to reward ourselves in those moments, and every small mistake or small error immediately leads to us conceding a goal, and that is a very bad cocktail to have.
That follows on to my final question: is how pressurised with the situation is this then for you as a group, for you personally, and how inhibiting can that pressure be?
No, there's a lot of pressure if you work or play at a top club, and even more so if you start losing more games than this club or this players or this manager is used to. So then there's always pressure. But there was a lot of pressure last season as well for us to win the league, and now it's a different kind of pressure because we've lost so many games. But what it does to me, I can just do the same, but I don't have to play. So maybe my job is a little bit easier if it comes to this, because I think it's hard for every player. If you are in a bad run of results, if you go down immediately after 3 minutes, and then you play a good first half, and then 10 minutes after halftime, again you concede. So we get knock after knock after knock, which is hard. But that's why I keep saying that, especially when that happens, we have to keep fighting, and that's what we've done so well last season, and what this club is about for so many years, and that's what we expect. The minimum what I and we expect is that we do this over 90 minutes, which is not always easy if you get knock after knock after knock.
Can I just ask you about the finish of some of your players? Who obviously is probably going to be picked up, and how Florian and Alisson are as well?
Ali trained again with the team today, so we hope and expect him to be available in the weekend. Florian will have his final day of rehab tomorrow, so if that all goes well, he could train with the team on Saturday. And the third one was Hugo. Yeah, of course today was recovery, but they don't expect that it has to be a big issue. But yeah, games come fast, so let's see for the weekend. But it shouldn't have to be a big issue.
And that's why West Ham are concerned as well. It feels like it's a long time for you, but they're moving in a different direction now under the new Spurs. It sounds like they seem to have got a new win and a fresh confidence in their arm, I suppose. How do you feel?
Yeah, like you said, he's having an impact on their results. He's done so well everywhere he worked in England, and did so well at Forest. Now he's doing well at West Ham again. So he's proven to be a difficult manager to play against, not only for me but for everyone, because he always has a very good game plan. And it's a tough team to beat at the moment, West Ham, which was different maybe in the beginning of the season, but we face them now, and that's why. We definitely need to be ready for a challenge, because that's what they will give us. Because they know, of course, after our recent run of results, that that's probably different for them to play against us now than it was 3 or 4 months ago.
Looking at the XG stats for the last 3 games, Liverpool's is 6.59, and opponents 5.39 combined. I just wonder what would you take from that?
Frustration. XG don't always tell you the right story because I think it's also important when do you get those chances. So and after you concede, you tend to be more open than when you're 1 or 2-0 up. I think when we were 1-0 up against Real Madrid and 2-0 against Villa, we hardly conceded a chance, and that has happened in many more of our games when we were leading. But yeah, when you chase the game, you concede normally more. But I think a large part of this XG that we create is in the first part of the game as well, and that's why one of the players said, and I just used that quote: we don't reward ourselves for good phases of the game or good parts of the game, and this is probably what is best shown in our XG created, because it's ridiculous. Because normally you score more than your XG. The amount of times you see a team scoring 3 or 4 goals from from a low XG value, and then if you see our XG yesterday evening, but yeah, I didn't need XG to know that we missed a lot of chances.
And Curtis Jones gave quite a passionate interview after the game last night. I just wondered what you thought of what he said and that kind of passion, that anger, that frustration. How does it feel when you hear your players speaking about it?
Then you assume that I heard what he said, and that is what I didn't. So I, after the game, I have to do 120 interviews.
He said that he was past being angry and spoke about wanting to be a dog and tackle out there, do some of those kind of things as well.
Really good if you bring it to the game, and I think this is what the players at least tried to do yesterday. All the data in terms of running data were very high. They had a lot of personal best, so they tried yesterday a lot, but it didn't lead to anything in terms of result. And I think this is what he is saying. If we can bring this as a team to the game, this is where is the minimum I expect and the minimum the fans expect from us, that we fight. And this is, I use the word fight, he uses probably some other words, but I think we're on the same page when it comes to how we want to get out of the situation.
How you go about restoring damaged confidence? I think that's something else you can't train that into them. Is there anything you can do to try and help them, because it's often right so low on the pitch at times?
And that last thing I think should be said extra at times, because I don't see it being low when we start the game. I didn't even saw it low after we conceded 1-0 yesterday. But after the third, the fourth, or the fifth knock, then after the 3-1, I also saw a very difficult 5 to 10 minutes. But before that, even when we conceded 2-1, again had a disappointment. We were able to generate enough chances, enough XG to make the 2-2. But after they scored the 3-1, I could indeed see that it hurt the players, and that wasn't the period where our fighting spirit was the best in the game, to say it mildly.
But when they're in that mindset, are you confident your message is still getting across to them?
After the 3-1, it's very difficult to get a message across to them when I'm at the sideline. But before the game and during half-time, I think the message comes across to them. If I see how we create our chances, it is a lot of the things we train and where we what is in the meeting. But unfortunately, it doesn't lead to goals, and that is difficult for them, for me, for our fans, for everyone. But that the message comes across is very clear to me. If I see the way we generate our chances, that is a lot from the work we do on the training pitch and during the meetings. So yeah, that's for me that's obvious. But yeah, when we're 3-1 down, then it's difficult to get the message across if you're standing not so far, but if you're not standing on the pitch. How close he could have been involved yesterday as well in terms of minutes. But yeah, when we are 2-1 down or 3-1 down, I tend to make offensive substitutions. And for him to start a game is also definitely a possibility. But Konate didn't train 2 days before the game. He was a bit of a liability 2 days before. And then if you don't have that many defenders to start with, 2 players that maybe might not be able to play the whole 90, that's kind of a risk as well. So I decided to keep him, how do you say this? But you know probably what I mean. To keep him there for if he was injured and not to have to make 2 substitutions, because then probably we would have ended up with 1 or 2 defenders.
How did you sleep last night?
What do you think? No, not the best. Not completely poor. It wasn't as if I lie awake for the whole night. But although if we win, I don't sleep well. Also, so then there's probably a lot of adrenaline, and now there's a lot of thoughts going through your mind. But I had a few hours of sleep, enough to be able to be fresh again this morning.
Victor Bulls yesterday said after the game that he would have a drink with you. Did you have that drink?
No, unfortunately, I asked him to come in, but I had quite a lot of media work to do. And afterwards, when I came in, it was already a bit too late. So I will text him today to one more time. I congratulate him. So we didn't have time to have a drink now.
Is he also someone you would talk to about having some advice for facing this challenge? Because he's been through this before. For you, it's the first time.
I think there are a lot of people which I could call for advice, but there are a lot of people working at this club that can give me very good advice as well.
Hi, you spoke just now about the messaging between you and the players, and also you spoke about how there was good moments when in the first half compared to the second half. If you think back to last season, there were so many occasions where you were able to change things at half-time and get an improved performance. So do you think there's any difference in how you're adapting and assessing what's happening in that half-time period, or do you feel like the players are still taking on that messaging in the same way?
I think we always remember the last 1 or 2 games the most. I think our second half performance against City was much better than the first half performance. If I go further back, so the first loss we had was against Crystal Palace. Our second half performance was much better than the first half performance. So it has been, all the losses we've had have had a different story. And the last 2, indeed, the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but in the last 2 we conceded straight after half-time, after already being disappointed in the first half, not getting what we thought we deserved. And like I said, in my opinion, the players kept on fighting after 2-1 because we were able to create 2 or 3 very good moments and chances. The Cody Gakpo header is, I think, usually a goal. But this moment of time, not for us. We've generated enough set pieces in that part of the game as well. But after the 3-1, again, that's the part people tend to remember, which is normal because the last part of the game. That was, of course, not of the standards and of the fighting spirit we would like to have in our team.
When you reach successful games, you also the team think it maybe easy jobs. You also the players have less minutes, like goal and create, they might be able to improve the team. Now, obviously, more players that this can change the way you play.
I think you consider everything. Until now, I've decided differently. But they train with us every single day and they can prove themselves in those moments. And yeah, it's always a balance between, if you don't change, people think, you should change more. And I think there was a period of the season where we lost and I made a few changes where people complained about the fact that I made a few changes too much. And there was never any time the same team. So, of course, I consider, but I cannot tell you what the end product of that consideration is for Sunday yet. You're welcome.
Should we just do the normal team news? We know there's no Romero for the Fulham game. Where's Dragic? Is he ready to start? Anyone else in and out that you can tell us about? I know you've sort of trained tomorrow.
Nothing changed from the Arsenal PSG game. Of course, the suspension to Kuti. Brad will not be able to start yet. Progressing, training. Yeah, so that's it.
Anyone else close to coming back?
No.
You talked last night about the progress that your side made, that sort of attacking intent that you wanted to see. How much more do you think you'll know about the true progress of your side on Saturday against a Fulham team that's going to play a totally different way to PSG? You're going to have to go after them a bit.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. We're facing a completely different game on Saturday, a game where we hopefully will be more on the ball and need to how can we say open Fulham up. I think actually Fulham maybe they don't have the points they maybe want, but I've watched a lot of their games and watch even more now that they performed well. I think they've been quite unlucky with some of the results, so that'll be a different challenge, but that we're up for. Looking forward to it. I'm pleased that the performance and response we got from the players against PSG. I think we did the aggressivity in the high pressure, the forwardness, the intensity we played with should have earned us a point or points against PSG, but a bit of randomness to set this goal we can't concede, and some game management did that we didn't, and that's the bit we need to learn from. We are said from the beginning when I walked in the club, every decision I take is to do everything I can to win the next game, but it's for the long run. You can't build something that lasts. It doesn't matter. Very aware that I need to win tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and the day after the day, and so on. But that's what it's all about. And I think football is extremely fascinating. It's so complex and we all try to analyse and understand it. And if we look at Liverpool now, manager Arne Slot, admire massively. They're fantastic stepping into the first season in the Premier League, won it, incredible in every way, and now they are struggling a bit. And they have a bad spell. I'm convinced we'll find a way out of that. Convinced. But I don't think anyone has predicted that before we start the season. That's just sometimes football. But that's the thing we sometimes struggle to understand.
Yeah, do you think that's become more reactionary since when you started? Because you lose that game on Sunday and the narrative is really quite negative towards you. You go and put in a good performance in defeat last night and suddenly that shifts again. Does it become very much more all or nothing? Because you're talking, Slot there who's won Premier League.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Arne is clearly an unbelievable coach. What did we find out? How he stepped into Liverpool. Incredible. So he will 1000% find a way out of that. And I don't know him personally, but he will stay calm, him and his coaching staff, and find a solution, and then we'll go again. And in football, some managers, some clubs are privileged not to have too many setbacks. Maybe it's just one game. Others have a big spell, or they have whatever, So yes, there will be setbacks, and how you handle them and come back from them is the key. And I agree with you that I think sometimes one game is like, oh, it's a disaster over here, and then you're suddenly here. It's probably a little bit in between. That maybe not the best coach in the world after we beat City away. Probably not the worst coach in the world after we lost the game. So that's just the way it is. It's how we build something over time.
I know you're always very calm and you don't get sucked into that narrative, but there must be the sense that given what happened on Sunday, and yes, it's better yesterday, but at home, on a Saturday night when you haven't won since the Burnley game in the open game, there's that sense that you have to, as a group, go out and deliver.
Yeah, of course. And I promise you, we will do everything we can to deliver, and we will do everything we can to come flying out, to be positive, intense, energetic, forward. But I'm also pretty sure that Fulham will do everything they can to avoid that. But it's our job to make sure that we perform. And if we perform well, we've got a very good chance to win the game.
Afternoon, Thomas. Just staying on that issue of the home ball. I interviewed Brendan Johnson earlier on this week, and he said it's not so much of an issue from the players' point of view of feeling under pressure when they play at home, particularly in the Premier League, but he said perhaps the players overthink things and try and overplay because they really want to win at home. Is that something that you've noticed the players are doing, and how is that something that you can look to address?
No, I think any player, any team need to do what we can to play with confidence and the best performances where you just play intuitive. You don't think about it, just you do what you do, and you before you receive the ball, you know that you need to take a touch forward, or you play forward, or you turn that way, or whatever you do. That's why you perform the best. So I think that's key. I'm fully aware that I said from the beginning, it hasn't changed. I want our stadium, our home, to be fortress. To get there, we need to perform. We need to be the fans and us. It needs to be both together. You need to feel that when we play home, wow, this is it's impossible to beat us here, and that's what we need to work towards. We're not there yet, but that's what we need to work towards.
In terms of Brendan Johnson, it's just over 6 months since he scored the winning goal in the Europa League final. He did say that look, not playing every week it is disappointing naturally. He said, but he completely trusts in yourself. He said the training sessions during the week, because there's so much competition for places, they are really intense. How would you rate how he's developed this season, where he kind of fits into your attacking lineup?
I'm very aware that Brendan got some very good qualities. One of them is scoring goals and running behind and arriving in the box. I think I really like everything about him. Also scored goals this year as well, 4 I think in total. So I'm very aware of them. So it's all about how do we create that team, where we perform, how we get the best players in, where do we play them. Is it Moses right, is it Brentford right, who plays the 10, to play with what kind of type of player do we play in the different position to make it click. And then we also need that little bit of depth, because we play every third, fourth day, to keep the freshness, the energy. So that's the challenge.
And talking about players, he's been scoring goals. Randall Coleman, he did that against PSG. Is he fit enough though to start again against Fulham?
Yeah, he would be fit enough to start against Fulham again. I think he performed well. That was obviously his best performance, not only because of the 2 goals and the assist, but the all performance, pressing game, the energy and the touches. I like that from him in the game yesterday. And that's the as you say, the challenge that we're facing, that we're embracing, is that away to Arsenal, 3 days later, away to PSG, 3 days later, home to Fulham, 3 days later, away to Newcastle. So how can we find that perfect balance of energy, intensity, freshness, the right structure and relationship on the pitch? So that's why that's a nice coaching challenge. I put it that way. But anyway, Colo's ready.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
5 months ago when you got the job, I spoke to you. You said to me the only certainty you can absolutely be certain of is that you'll lose games, which you are now doing.
I promise that. I succeeded.
How do you keep calm then? You said that managers need to keep calm, stay calm during these sort of times. You talk about Arne Slot. How do you keep calm?
Of course, I think, of course, trust
trust my experience, trust my staff, trust my players, trust the club, the leadership. I think that's key. Trust the processes, the structure. I do. That you know, just keep doing that, keep believing that, keep working. You know, the power of one. So you know, always one more conversation, one more video clip, one more meeting, one more training. You know, constantly try to improve bits. Know where you want to go, and then try to improve those bits and culture, style of play, everything, every single day. I think that's the key. Then there's days where you perform badly, you feel pain and you're angry. Yesterday it was painful in a different way because we lost, more irritation, but a better feeling because we competed. I saw more the identity of the team, character, the team I want to build. Gave me hope, and then there's still irritation. You can see 5 goals. We had an unbelievable opportunity to get something away from Paris, and we missed that. So that's irritation. And yeah, just keep going.
You said earlier you appreciated the need to win. Without trying to build up a headline, is Fulham at home must win?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think the stats is not like this 100% sure that we will win the game. That's the beauty of it. I'm very aware that a top performance and a win will be very, very helpful. But I go into every game believe we can win. I go into every game believe we have prepared well and we'll do a top performance. So what I can affect is that I need to make sure that we're well prepared. I need to make sure that we pick the best possible team with the best possible opportunity to win the game. And I need to make sure we are in the perfect state of mind and we come flying out. And then we need a little bit of margin, and then that should be enough to win the game.
Finally, personal opinion, I think Spurs have the best stadium in the country. It's magnificent, and I know you probably enjoy taking your Brentford team to play there. Is that part of the problem this season with home form? Is that because you play in such an amazing stadium, people raise their game to play there against you because they want to show what they can do in such surroundings?
Oh, I never thought about that. I must admit, I think the key thing for us is just to focus on us. What can we do? How is it we want to attack? How is it we want to defend? How is it we want to perform? Just only focus on that, and then get that cohesion with the fans, and then the rest will take care of themselves. Thank you.
Thomas, I just wonder, when are you going to get Kulusevski and Solanke back? Because arguably, they're walking to a lot of teams in the Premier League, and you've done this spell without them. And you talk about being judged after so many games. Is it almost unfair to judge you without these 2 players?
It's part of it. We get judged if we walk into a club like this. Fantastic club, Tottenham Hotspur. There'll be expectations every day for every performance. The performance adds together, so that's part of the game. So no problem with that. Of course, I'd love to have Dominic and Kulusevski ready to play for us, but they're not available right now. Then other players need to step up. I need to find solutions, and that I will do.
Are you any closer to getting them back? I mean, are we talking weeks, or is it potentially January? Or?
Yeah, I think I said, can't remember. We have a few of these press conferences, but one of the last ones that I think it's much easier for me to say now they're ready to be selected instead of when are they back, when maybe. So I think right now relatively we're not available.
And just in terms of, I just wondered how the players felt. Obviously Sunday was really disappointing, and then last night was a lot more promising. But how do they feel about what happened on Sunday and what they've got to do against Fulham on Saturday?
For me, we look forward. We can't dwell too much in the past because if you do that, that's why I say I have the 24-hour rule, and you're too much sucked into everything. So for me, it's still 24 hours into last night. So for me, it's about taking the positive out of the game with PSG. There was a lot of positive in that game. Learn from the mistakes made, and then bring all that to Saturday's game against Fulham. Thank you, George, please.
Hi Thomas. Obviously a lot of very good performances last night. Colomani being one. I think you said yourself last night he's not fully fit yet. How kind of excited are you for when he is fully fit, and what sort of difference can he make? Because it feels like his kind of link-up play and that combination play is something that will be really, really useful going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was exciting. I think I can just see the 3. I suppose the link-up play, there was the pressure, that was everything last night. I think the exciting thing was around the first goal, the way the header, the vision he had to hit it back towards goal to Richie. His goal, how quick he reacted and so on, and his finishing there. And then the third one, where he's got through, showed that little bit of pace, got the ball with him, and just clinical in the finish. So now it's about doing that consistency every game. So that's the next step, but it was promising moves.
And Archie and Lucas were obviously brilliant. They've played a lot of games this season, but they only started once together in midfield in the Premier League. Would you have any hesitation them two starting together in the Premier League, or they're not quite ready yet, or do you think they are ready?
I think if you perform like you did against the European champions away from home, I think you're ready to start in the Premier League.
So no hesitation to play them against Fulham?
Absolutely no.
Yeah. And I guess finally from me, you conceded 5 goals last night, but you go over to the away fans and they're all there, they're all applauding you behind the team, which is obviously a contrast to Sunday. How much have you kind of learned this week, I guess, about the expectations of the Tottenham fans and how much they'll kind of give you in terms of leeway if you have that bravery and attacking intent?
That I don't know. I massively respect all the fans. They're hugely important for us, home and away. I'm fully acknowledge and appreciate and very happy that how many that travel to Paris and how they back the team throughout the game. It means everything to me personally. And then it's just up to us to keep performing, keep being brave, keep doing all the right things going forward, and constantly add layers.
Hi, Thomas. The team looked set up in a slightly different way last night. Was that a very specific plan for PSG, or is that something we could see more often here?
I think that was what I would say. Let's say the general identity of the team. I liked a lot of the intensity and aggressivity in the pressure. I like the forwardness and the running forward, playing forward. I think we played 4 midfielders across the midfield 4. That could be for some games. It could also be different for some games. I think Saturday is one game away to Paris, and it's a different game home to Fulham.
Could you play like that more at home?
Everything's possible. But I think it depends on the opponent. It depends on the type of game. I think we need different types. I said that before. Being pragmatic is not have the same principles in all the phases, but maybe choose different types for different games.
What do you think of the theory that the reason that the home form has been struggling this season is because the team is not so good when they have to be proactive with the ball and take the initiative?
I think that's completely 2 different things. Of course, it's different to press and have more open spaces to run into, and then to open an opponent where there's a limit behind the ball. It's 2 different scenarios. They demand not two different kind of skill set, but some abilities to one, some abilities to something else. And I think that the most difficult thing in the world in football is to break down an opponent that low, and that is difficult there. We have a lot to develop and improve, and then on that journey, we need to find solutions that can create enough chances and win enough games.
Able in the broadcast section there.
I just want to ask you about Jalbaliga in terms of his football clubs playing on Saturday and weekend. What's the importance of protecting against those long-range shots, which I know you're not a big fan of doing yourself or face-to-face? See how important the shield there.
And I think in general, I think Xiao been very good for us. I think he's been very competitive. I think he's been in games carrying the team, really helping to, as you say, both win the duels and the second balls and do a lot of regains in the team. Plus, he's also been quite dangerous going forward, scoring a few goals for us. So in general, that's important both to shielding the long range shot, but that's not the only thing. That's only him. That's the whole team that needs to do that.
It's on a season-long notice.
Yeah.
So when do you start having conversations with your club? You say, "I want to sign for next year," or permanent deal? When does that come? I know you're focusing on it.
Yeah, right now I'm only focusing on Fulham on Saturday. And we have just said we had playing with 2 or 3 days intervals, 4 games. So I have no thinking about a recruitment of January right now. But all things about bits like that, I can't see it be done before springtime with everything, because we are on a journey here. So yeah.
And if you decide to go with Archie, does some of Jal's experience become just as valuable because he has that experience?
Yeah, I think it's all how the team complement each other. That can be experience, that can be different skill set, that can be different types. So part of that definitely is into my considerations.
Just find a conversation particular side change tactically. Raven Vega's on the radio.
Sorry?
Raven Vega, who used to play the top.
Yeah.
He's quite critical himself, saying you feel like you bring up tactically to sort of implement that to be here. Whether you want to address that particularly, how do you deal with the guy who's you tactically or make suggestions as you try to juggle with matches? You might not see this quite much.
I've 100% not seen it, because as I said before, I don't read anything. Of course, I'll continue saying that. Anthony will let me know if there's anything that is valuable for me to know. One thing for sure, when I walk into this club, also knew, besides knew I would lose football matches, also knew I would be criticised. So I literally don't care what they say. I listen to the trusted people I have close to me and others. The only thing I would say is slightly more easy to be on the outside.
Hi Thomas. Xavi didn't start against Chelsea or Arsenal, he hasn't started any of the away matches in the Champions League. How has he sort of reacted to that? I guess there's a big money signing, those big games against starting.
Yeah, Xavi's been fine. I think it's as we've seen with other players coming into the Premier League for the first time from other leagues, it's not straightforward in any way. So I think it's completely natural part of the, how can you say development or adjustment to the league. So different games, different abilities. So yeah.
Is there something sort of you don't concentrate for? Is it a fitness thing? Is it a tactical thing? What in those kind of games?
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, it's all about performance. No matter if it's now you say Xavi, what about Wilson? What about Mo? What about whatever who didn't play Xiao? So it's different things. So what do you? And this is not about Xavi, this in general. So this is about what do you give to the team for any specific game. And then on an offensive one, no matter what type of player you are, do you give enough to the defensive part of the game? That means do you either play forward enough, do you create chances enough, do you produce crosses, or whatever the position is, fullback, midfielder, winger. The defensive side of the game, do you work hard enough? Do you win the duels? Do you get onto the ball? Can you press with intensity you want? And then there's the set pieces. Do you bring it up to the defensive one or to the defensive one? All that's the reason why we select players, how they can perform. And then there's a little difference between playing Arsenal away and whatever, another team, home or PSG away.
Breaking down a little bit on some things, but these are the kind of games where Xavi you do sort of has the ability to set up and could be the kind of match he has, like Omani had last night, sort of breakout match.
Yeah, definitely could. I think that's a combination of how do we break down opponents, how do we open them, where are we as a team, how do we create enough chances, because that's the thing we've been thinking about. How do we get enough goal scorers on the pitch? Yesterday we worked with 2 strikers, so we are, as I said before, very aware that we are not the finished article at all, and before we are closer to what we want to be, maybe there's kind of a middle ground to go through to make sure we are right where we want to be. Yeah, I think the system last night is, I think it's the way we went man-man. You're going to go man-man in all systems, so we defend in let's say the 4-4-2. But if all of you have seen our games, we defend in the 4-4-2 more or less the whole season, except against Arsenal and PSG in the Europa League final. Whatever, Super Cup. So of course he could play to the left, or he could play one of the 2 strikers. So it depends what types we need for the different games. Hi.
This time last year, everyone was praising your home record for Brentford.
Yeah.
Best in the league. What was the secret behind that? And is it just a matter of winning games at home, building up the confidence and building that link with the crowd to get behind you?
Yeah, I also think we scored the most goals, didn't we? At home. I think we had 8 games with 4 more goals last season. Yeah, I also think it's fair to say that was been a little bit we if I can speak about Brentford there, it was been a little bit on a journey together, and the team clicked at that time. I had a front four with Johan Wissa, Brandon Wimmo, Kevin Sjade and Mikkel Damsgaard. The front three scored 50 goals between them, and Dams was unplayable at times. So they clicked, and that's what we are working very hard to find now, to make it click. So I'm not in doubt that will come. I hope we see signs of it on Saturday, how we want to do things. And then, as you say, the wins, the performance, everything, bit by bit, it'll be more.
And comparing to the VC, comparing to the VC,
yeah.
against 2 really good teams, there's no doubt that you prefer to lose when you lost against PSG rather than against Arsenal, I take it, because obviously you had a go against PSG, scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
Against Arsenal, you obviously sat back and got criticism for that.
Yeah.
So you want to be seen as a cautious manager.
No, not at all. I think I think everyone has seen my games over all the years I've been in charge. No matter if it was my under-8 team in Frederiksberg 30 years ago to now, or no, I want to play offensive front-footed football. But probably also in those 30 years, I could pick games also under 8 in Frederiksberg to 1-2 Brentford where it didn't work for whatever reason. It didn't work Sunday against Arsenal. The plan was to be front-footed. We weren't. That we adjusted, and I agree with you. It's I think it's a very good question. It's a different kind. After Sunday, I was angry, painful, hurt. Yesterday, I was irritated, but the feeling the body was better because we really, really, really competed. There was more the identity I want to show.
Thanks for John, please.
Has being in the Champions League been more of a help or a hindrance to financially to building what you want to build? You get PSV straight after Arsenal.
Yeah, you know, that way I'm more. It is what it is. I wouldn't be without it. I think it's part of the journey. It's part of what kind of club we want to be. We want to play Champions League. We want to compete in Premier League. We want to compete in Champions League. That's the big aim. I think if you ask any coach in the world, you want a full week's preparation, only 3 days or 2 days, they'll say full week. But the reality is, if you want to build a club and compete and play the big games, you're not going to get that. So that's fine. And until we are where we are, we can really, really compete in both. Then we just need to find a way. Say again. Yeah. I would say, of course, it's you can say until you get the clear principle in consistent game after game, it doesn't matter if you change 2, 3, 4 players, 5 players. Then that of course makes it a little bit more of a challenge, but a challenge we embrace. Also, you need to change players to keep a little bit of energy and freshness. You can see City changed 10 players in the midweek, Chelsea changed 5. It's you need to do that it's not for the next game, but if you want to also be fresh in February, March, and April, everything is going to be decided. But also need to perform now. So that's of course a slightly challenge, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Ruben, on Monday you spoke about your team you felt your team is still quite a long way from where you want it to be. Last year and during the summer, we took you at face value when you were saying the things about your team, but like this week you've had a whole week off, and you're playing opponents who are away from home in Europe on Thursday night. Isn't this exactly the kind of game that Manchester United should be able to step into?
In our club is the same thing, because last year we had to win every game all the time, and we took a lot of criticism because we were not winning. So in our club there is no excuses. About Europe, I already talked about Europe, and I said the same thing last year when we were in Europe, and I say the same thing this year. The advantage and the disadvantage of not being in Europe. So there is no excuses. Last year or this year we have always to win games.
Are you disappointed with where your team is now then, given?
I think if I look at the games, we should have more points, and because we had control of some games, we had the advantage in some games, and we lost that control. So if I look at our games, we should have more points, and that is really disappointing and really frustrating, especially the last game.
On Monday, you see the disappointment on everyone's faces. How do you stop them getting too low and going into a tailspin?
To start again was really tough. The week, as should be, was hard to this result, this defeat. But the process needs to continue, and we need to go for the next game, and we need to understand that, especially in our league this year, everything can change really fast. So let's go again and focus on the next one.
Will Matthijs Cunha and Harry Maguire be available tomorrow? And what's the update with Sesko? Is it looking like next week? Maybe?
No, Sesko is going to take a little bit more time. Harry the same. I expect to have Matthijs in the next one, not this one.
Sesko, does that mean he's had a setback, or is it?
No. It's take a little bit longer. We are taking care of the injury.
Ruben, you mentioned after the game on Monday feeling similar to last year, being afraid of having similar feelings to last year. How much did that increase after the game? And do you think the players share that maybe nervousness that they could repeat last year?
Again, I think if you look at the game, I think we can play better. We could be better in the game, and with everything that happened in that game, we should have won that game. So we have to feel that urgency of winning games. We know what happened around the club if we don't win games. So if we know that, let's do everything in the right way. But again, we lost that one. We cannot change that. Let's focus on the next one.
Ruben, the away issues that United have faced, I think one away win in the last 11. What can you do to solve that? What are you doing to solve that?
The same things that we need to do to show to the players why we lost control of Nottingham, why we lost control against Tottenham. And if you look at that games, we're there to win, and then sometimes a small detail can change everything. Then I felt during this year that when we play at home, the intensity was higher, and I felt in this game at home, the intensity was not at the same level. So I think it's something that we need to work on. So it's hard to point one thing why we are not winning away. There's a lot of issues. We are improving. Like I said, we have advantage in the away games. We need to know how to finish the games in order to win.
Obviously, Palace are a different club, different pressures and scrutiny to United, of course. But obviously, Glasnerd's had a lot of success, playing a similar system to you, and have continued the season despite losing his best player, Enzo. Do you look at what they've done, and do you draw a lot of inspiration and encouragement from Palace? And is one of the big differences is that their win backs obviously really settled. How big an impact can that?
We played a different way, and you can understand that by data. But it's hard to explain everything. Like you said, it's a different club, and they are doing things better than us. So that is quite simple. But you don't say that all 4-3-3 play in the same way, right? What I'm saying, yeah, we play in a different moment. We defend in a different space. We try to attack in a different way. They are just doing the things better than us.
They can be very quick. The speed with which they attack. I just wonder sometimes when you see, obviously like you play in a different way, but a similar setup in terms of formation, whether you ever take or draw ideas from things. They I quite like that. I don't like that.
I play against him in Frankfurt with Sporting, so I know the players. I take inspiration from everyone. When I have 2 weeks for national teams, I watch all the managers and try to take all the inspiration that I can take. I have 6 years as a manager, professional manager, so I'm always trying to learn to improve my team.
And finally, there's been obviously a lot of focus on your central midfield and whether that'll be an area that you strengthen next season. Is the wing back area though, which is a fundamental part of your team, is that an area over the next 12 months that you want to explore?
I think we need time to improve the characteristics of the team. I said that in the last year. And to give an example, the last game we should have an Ahmad with the right foot to put on the other side to play against 10 men. So is this kind of characteristics that we will try to get to be a better team. So if we are the perfect setup to play in this way, not yet. But like any other team, we need time to put the right characteristics in every single position to be prepared for it.
Just going back to Ruben, I think Munoz and Mitchell are in the top 5 for most distance covered in the Premier League, and United's that's quite a way down. Do you feel as though those players are still having to develop to get those attacking instincts that you want to really become proper?
Maybe they play, I don't know how you read that data, maybe they play more games, more minutes, so you cannot compare the data. We make a lot of substitutions. Sometimes we change because we know that it's a different position, or you want to change the feet with Allo and Patrick, and we change a lot. Sometimes we start with Ahmad in front, but most of the times, if we need to win the game, I put Ahmad on the right, Ahmad change position all the time, so that can change all the data, and you see different things. But again, they are doing the things really well. They play more in transition than us. The opponents see it in a different way. So all these things we have to look when we compare teams. But of course, in every position we can do so much better.
Hello, Pep. Can I ask about Rodri first of all? Do you think he could be available for this game?
No, yet.
How far away is he?
Not much far.
What is actually the specific issue that he's suffering with at the moment? It's still a hamstring problem from October? Okay. Erling Haaland obviously is having an incredible season for you, but in the Premier League, no other player has scored more than once. Is that a concern for you?
Not the main concern, but of course we have to go more players, but in general, except the last game, we might many good things in terms of the game, in terms of defense, all the aspects that we talk, and of course, Erling is massively important, but and the other ones as well.
Do you expect more though from some of the other attacking players in terms of stepping up and being able to score more?
Everyone, just not everyone for that position, that aspect. Always respect the best for many things.
Thank you.
Pep, you said this time last week that the season starts now, and obviously the 2 results since have been disappointing. Is that a reminder to the group of just how hard they have to fight in every game to be in a position to compete for trophies at the end of the season?
We know the competition is tough. It's not about, of course, disappointing results, but it's always I'm talking more in the performance, and of course the results helps to have better performance. But I'm not much disappointed about Newcastle, but the last one, for my decisions, and we didn't try. So simple as that.
You were quite honest after the game midweek. You repeated there again, suggesting taking responsibility for the selection, but also you said after the game that perhaps you were guilty of being too nice and giving the players too much, maybe selecting players in that first team, giving them too much responsibility on that night. Can we expect Pep to be a little bit less nice between now and Christmas?
No. Mum and Dad made me a beautiful person. I'm so nice. No, it's not about that. It just we didn't try. So in football, when you play on the green, so you have to try things that we didn't try. That's all. So, maybe I'll have a theory to rotate. You have to rotate because it's impossible to sustain. But I thought I have a lot of confidence in them. Still, right now, I have a lot. I have a huge value what they are as a football players, even in that, or maybe it's higher than I think about them or than them themselves. So, and it was a good lesson for me. So even with quite experienced as a manager, it's a good lesson for me for the future.
Can I finish by asking about Bernardo Silva, because obviously he's a player that's hugely important. You appointed him captain this year, but at the end of the season his contract expires. So from January he can talk to other clubs. Have you any conversations with him about the future? Would you like to see him stay? What do you expect to happen with Bernardo Silva?
I want the best from Bernardo, and if he wants to stay, I will be more than delighted and happy. But I don't talk about that subject with him, and also I want the best for his family, and of course I've been already 9 years here, and he will decide with the club what is the best.
Hi Pep, we saw Liverpool run away with the league last season. You had a difficult run about this time last year. How important is it that you don't let Arsenal get too far away from you in the next few weeks?
Just about next weeks and about the next games, it's just always had experience to that to talk about what is the next game, and after that we see. So I know the distance is already there, and Arsenal is so strong. We see it in game by game in the Premier League and the other ones, and start to see how it's getting better as a team, and we see.
And can I ask you about Leeds and Lucas Demetriou, who's a player that you had here quite a while ago? And what have you made of him this season? What have you made of Leeds overall since they were promoted?
I have an incredible opinion of Daniel. I have I think a really good relation with him, and I know the Premier League is always like that. You're able to make a good runs of results, but at the end you can make bad results and continue because the opponents are tough. Every opponent is really prepared. They have a long weeks to prepare, and so it's so demanding. So we have to be ready.
When you say that the team didn't even try against Bayer, is this the kind of missed opportunity that you will keep in mind next time you need to decide which players you will give opportunities to?
No, I'm pretty sure that they surrounded for players, they will play good. I think they felt they play to don't make mistakes, not to play to do I'm going to do something, and that is so difficult. So football you have to play. Defensive offense you have to try, and you lose in the actions you did it. They play to be safe, to don't be I'm making mistakes and I want to be noticed, and that's why it's so difficult.